Okay, so this video doesn't have a script, it's more of a rant because actually the topic of this video is something I have discussed the way K-pop stans act. I've discussed this like 3 times in essay format, and every time somehow I have more to say because how do y'all keep surprising me? Like, I'm not surprised, I'm more so disappointed. Like, it's crazy actually. So let's talk about this. First of all, I brought this up when my community, like, I don't know where to even start with this, but basically I think like the past year has been the worst year to be a girl group stan in a while, because maybe the music is good, but like maybe the music is good or the best it has been. I don't know. I'm not like the year's not over. Let me think about that. But yeah, in terms of fandom space, it's actually been horrible. Cause like LE SSERAFIM, I-dle, NewJeans, and to some extent ITZY, but ITZY's hate train has been going on forever now. I don't think it's ever going to stop at this point. Like, I'm gonna say this, and this is like a controversial way to start a video, but MISE as like a fandom who has seen like Aespa used to get dogged on so much for their stage presence and their dancing, and they improved. Like, now that Aespa is currently at the top of the industry in terms of girl groups, and they're producing the best numbers and like being the most loved essentially. Now their fans are like doing the exact same thing that was done to them to LE SSERAFIM and I-dle. Like, explain to me how Aespa, like, you saw what was happening to Aespa the hate train with the choreography, and everybody saying that they were like robots on stage and they had a horrible stage presence and they got hate for their Coachella performance. And then MISE turn around. Maybe it's not the same people who went through that hate train. Maybe it's new people who joined because of the success, but at the same time, it's still the same fandom. And nobody's calling them out for it on any platform. Definitely not TikTok or Twitter, which are, yeah, the most toxic ones, but they also spin the most prominent narratives in the community at the end of the day. So yeah, it's kind of safe to assume that people on Twitter and TikTok are the most impactful when it comes to influencing K-pop trends and trends in the fandom. So like, explain to me why MISE are the same people who have been hating non-stop on LE SSERAFIM's Coachella performance and ITZY for years on end, and it has gone to like places of slut shaming, which I am going to talk about because this has been like a horrible year for slut shaming, and in K-pop it's just been horrible, like the worst in a while. And we've had bad slut shaming in K-pop with Jennie, but like I don't understand why every year we have to pick a girl group and hate on them non-stop. Like, why can this community not ignore things they don't like? I'm not saying to not critique. I agree that the vocals from hype groups are not up to par with the industry standard, and the industry standard is very low. But at the same time, I don't think that people hating on groups 24/7 is just not critiquing. Like, if you built your entire online presence on hating on groups, that is not a critique. The way people have been talking about LE SSERAFIM and I-dle is beyond critique. It's just taking the issue of the lackluster vocals and using it as a whole as a weak point to drag them and hate on them for other unrelated stuff. For example, let's take something I posted on my community post. I think I will put it on screen so you guys can see. Basically what was happening, it was when Shay on MISOGYNY when Katsai were there, she apparently did not bow to Manon because she was bowing to Yoonjae at the time, and she didn't see Manon, and Manon herself I don't think even bowed because she's not Korean, so I don't think this even matters the entire discussion. But the comments where like Yoonjae's evil, Koreans are racist, I can't make excuses for her anymore. It's actually insane. Like, what is wrong with you guys? Like, this is what I mean. They took the issue of LE SSERAFIM. They decided because that LE SSERAFIM are not good enough live singers to appease them, that now they have an excuse to hate on everything LE SSERAFIM does. And I will give you another example of that with I-dle. I am not going to open the NewJeans live stream can of worms here, but yes, Hani said that some group bowed to her, but the manager told them to stop greeting her, like in the future after they bowed, and she heard that and felt very offended by that. But at the same time, the blame was shifted onto I-dle, and people were saying I-dle are evil, and I-dle, like, I will put proof of this because I have it. Unfortunately, I have it. Like, I hate that this is a real thing that happens because even Hani herself said that I-dle have bowed, and I'm pretty sure that Hybe literally came out with CCTV to show that I-dle did greet this girl. Like, they did greet Hani, they did not ignore her. But like, why would you spin a narrative like to hurt I-dle other than the fact that you just hate women? This can't be to defend NewJeans because I-dle themselves, those girls, those like young girls don't have anything to do with NewJeans. They don't have anything to do with Bangshihak. They have nothing to do with Hybe executives. They're just like idols. They're performatives. They get the song, they get the choreo, the dance, and they promote. That's their dream the exact same way it's NewJeans' dream. I don't understand why people who claim to want to protect NewJeans use this thing, like this little thing, to ruin the careers of other girls in the exact same position. This is like an issue I brought up twice now. Fans of groups who went through similar things, like similar bad experiences. They agree that the experience is bad, but they don't learn from it. They don't try to prevent it. Instead, they take all the negative energy that their favorite group got and like inflict it onto other girl groups, and this is like insanity. It has nothing to do with vocals or like behavior at this point. It just has to do with the fact that K-pop stars are just a bunch of bad people who somehow all managed to flock to this specific fandom. I don't have any excuses to psychoanalyze this anymore. The way people are behaving is just not normal. Like, this is not normal. The way people have been harassing and making assumptions about those girls for literally no reason, it makes no sense to me. Okay, like doing S360 and returning to the topic of vocals for I-dle and LE SSERAFIM. Let's acknowledge the fact that both I-dle and LE SSERAFIM are not good singers. Like, I don't think anybody would argue with that, and I'm still defending them in spite of thinking this. So like, think how deranged you must be to be attacking them 24/7 because of those vocals. It's like, people can agree and critique, but the way people have been talking about those girls, people who have taken like the more reasonable angle of saying they need to improve, a lot of them say that those girls need to stop being in the industry until they can be good enough singers and go model or dance. But to me, this is a stupid take because one, K-pop idols are also performers. This is like also an extremely important part of their job. Otherwise, they would just be normal singers. And there's a lot of non-K-pop idols in Korea. There's K-artists that are not necessarily idols. They don't dance, they don't make idol music. But like, at the same time, if those girls, like, let's think about LE SSERAFIM. LE SSERAFIM are currently the only active group in source music. If LE SSERAFIM stopped for a year like K-pop stents wanted them to, they stopped performing for a whole year. They like went in the practice room and tried to improve their vocals. That's all they do for an entire year. They don't release music, they don't do anything but practice singing. But think about the entire company. I know a lot of people hate HYBE executives, and I agree with that. There's very valid reasons to dislike HYBE executives. Yeah, a lot of them are criminals, but this is not the people I am talking about. I am talking about their regular employees, the people who choreograph, the people who manage LE SSERAFIM, the people who make their concept art, the people who post on their Twitter. All of those people are normal people who have families to feed. Like, they go home and there's usually people at home, a family, or even themselves. Normal people who work at the company and rely on LE SSERAFIM to make comebacks, sell albums, sell tours to make their money. They need LE SSERAFIM to be working. So the entire idea of having LE SSERAFIM stop for an entire year is just extremely stupid to me. I'm sorry, like, LE SSERAFIM are working on improving. They've shown you that time and time again. There's like, the documentary may have not been a good idea because trying to garner sympathy from K-pop stans is just like, it's stupid. It's never going to happen. The people who are into K-pop probably don't have that type of emotion. They don't have sympathy. Yeah, but regardless of that, the commentary thing, that proved to us that yes, LE SSERAFIM are taking vocal lessons, and right now HYBE give them a song that doesn't really requires vocals to perform, so you guys can't complain about it. And they haven't even gotten an encore, so we can't even tell if they're improved. Like, yeah, it's kind of sad that their reputation got so hurt by this, but like, at the same time, I'm not going to talk about chart positions when there are much worse things. It's they currently LE SSERAFIM are still selling albums and doing very well. The fact that, like, the fact remains that they're getting attacked 24/7 for vocals, but like, allegedly for vocals, but instead people are going very personal and just being downright evil at this point. And now I'm going to prove to you that this issue is misogyny and not anything else. Let's talk about Enhypen for a second.
Don't wanna stay. Just don't tell me what to do. Hey, stay. 중독에 빠져 we play. 원하는데 갈 때까지 가봐. 나를 가둔
This anchor is very bad. I don't think that anybody with ears would disagree with this, but at the same time, Enhypen was not given the same hate that I-dle, somebody from their company, and that also came from a very similar survival show, thought. Like, I've seen boy groups do bad anchors, but it never ruins their career or starts hate trains for them. It's never the case for them. And a lot of them, like even TXT, who now really improved their live vocals, were given the chance to actually grow as a group through their time active. They never got cancelled in their first few anchors or like for a single bad anchor the same way LE SSERAFIM and I-dle have been. So why is that the case? And this also happened to I lip synced while sitting down, which I agree was kind of shameless, but at the same time, I don't believe is the fault of the girls, more so the company that told them to do it. I don't think they have much say on that. They really don't. And at this happened, the entire thing with the vocals happened, and people were hating on those girls. I've never seen the exact same attitude for male idols, which is weird, but proves to us again and again that misogyny is the reason. Another reason and double standard that we have to talk about here is the slut shaming. I did not want to reach this point so late into the video, but unfortunately we had to talk a lot about the vocals somehow. So yeah, slut shaming this year has been really bad. Like usually the usual victims of slut shaming, and I say this very sadly, are Blackpink, because Blackpink wears shorts. I know that's crazy, like crazy. You wear shorts and now you're a slut, but like yeah, you wear shorts and you know men, so now you're a slut. That's crazy, like so crazy. I don't know. I don't know how to make it more simple for armies to understand, and in general K-pop sense to understand that Blackpink wearing shorts or revealing clothing has nothing to do with their promiscuity or like anything like that. I'm gonna have to censor this in there a second, oh my god. Anyways, yeah, that I think like anybody with 2 brain cells understands that. But like this year, we got Nayeon in ABCD getting slut-shamed for her choreography, Le Seraphim with Smart. God, I already made an entire video about this and I got more comments slut-shaming them by Kiss of Life. Oh my god. You know what? What's craziest about Kiss of Life getting slut-shamed so much is that a lot of the people, the vast majority of the people besides men and unfortunately conservative K-pop sense that are slut-shaming them are the people who were in Blackpink's fandom and now are fans of Baby Monster. They took the exact same energy that was directed towards Blackpink for years on end and decided to shift it to Kiss of Life. Like in the name of protecting Baby Monster, is that the only jihad you have? Like, is that it? The fact that they fork, that's crazy. I don't see this type of energy for like Tyla. I only see this for K-pop groups because you guys have infantilized them so much to the point like that you don't think Korean women can shake their ass. Like that's insanity. Yes, they can. The same way Western women feel like they can reclaim their body by doing those stuff from their own will. That's the exact same thing in K-pop and like tenfold, because K-pop has always been like an industry where women were forced and sexualized, and when they want to do it from their own free will, groups like I.dle and Kiss of Life get heavy slut shamed for what? Wearing swimsuits, shaking their ass, wearing shorts. Like be serious, go outside, go to the beach, like open TikTok. Like first of all, open TikTok, all that exists there and nobody's slut shaming it. It's a trend. And you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? That male idols can do this. Like I'm an NCT stan. I've seen this. Like I can't believe they're allowed to get away with this stuff on stage. But like at the same time, if a woman did half of this, like she just shook her butt. Like the comments crazy and like the most negative way possible. But like NCT are allowed to reenact a fanfic on stage and like nobody says anything. Everybody's into that. And like Stray Kids are allowed to walk on stage, like grab their crotches and like walk with those colors in red light, and nobody cares. Like everybody finds it hot, everybody finds that sexy. Like K-pop idol are allowed to hump the stage and that's fine. Like have you ever seen an Ateez performance? I'm not saying that's bad. Like me personally, I'm for all for K-pop idols doing whatever they want on stage as long as it's like a performance and it's appropriate for the people watching the performance. Like yeah, don't be doing too much, but like do enough that you feel creatively that you express yourself. That's what I wanted to say. I don't know how to better word that, but I think you guys get it. I'm not against what male idols do on stage. I am against the way people react to male idols versus female idols. And this is what a big debate on Twitter, and I actually disagree with the more like popular side that girl group stans aren't hating on girl groups, because girl group stans are the #1. Like the first people who do slut shame women. Don't get me wrong, like the people who were like pushing the Wanyang hate train, a lot of them were Enhypen fans because she was NMC with Sunmi at the time and they did not like that. Y'all cannot lie to me and say that like I was there. I will not be gaslit for that. Like I know a lot of the hate was driven by Enhypen stans because she was MCing with Sunmi, and like after she stopped MCing with Sunmi, it slowly died down. So I don't know, just an observation, just observe, just like the facts line up. But yeah, a lot of the hate for girl groups is driven by boy groups, but the vast majority of it unfortunately comes from girl group fandoms because like one, it's true that women do hate women to some extent. Like a lot of you are jealous and you don't know what to do with those emotions, and a lot of gay men who are in those fandoms don't really have like the same camaraderie that women have for each other, so they view them as laughingstocks. Like this is also a big like point of debate right now and I'm not going to get into that, but yeah, this entire issue is just exhausting at this point. Like every time I open any form of social media, I open it to see hate for girl groups, and this has been like horrible for me because like I don't really have any reason to hate on girl. Basically, the way it works is it's easier to hate on stuff because if everybody around you hates something, it is easier to join the hate train rather than think for yourself. Let's take Wanyang for example. We all agree that the fact people were so upset about her eating a strawberry was stupid, and yeah, the fact that Gal got shit on for eating a hamburger with a fork, but at the same time people were saying DAY6 ONEWE were cute for that, like that was weird. But yeah, anyways, that Wanyang got shit on for eating a strawberry with both of her hands. Like okay, now it's time for us to think everybody was hating on her for doing that, but do you really think it's that offensive that she did that? Yes or no? Probably no, because it changed nothing in your life that this girl was eating a strawberry with 2 hands. Did you leave a like on a post hating on her? Maybe yes, maybe no, I don't know you personally, but a lot of people did. And a lot of people just did that because other people liked it and other people they knew agreed with that opinion. So this is exactly what I mean. Even if you take like the topic of vocals, which I do agree with, like the vocals in the K-pop industry are sometimes not up to par. You can think that the vocals are not good, but at the same time not nitpick everything an idol does. This is why I say this, like being a hater is easier than being a critique, than just putting out the bad stuff and understanding that the bad stuff doesn't make the entire group bad. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. This is a very long rant, but like I feel like what I said now had to be said and had to be pointed out. So thank you for listening to this very messy video. It doesn't really have a structure or a point or like a message to get across, but I just had to let it out.